I heard the wine glass shatter before I heard my mother say it. Premium treats for premium grandkids, Melissa. My daughter Emma was 6 years old, standing in my mother's pristine kitchen in Scottsdale, Arizona, staring at the marble countertop where 3 slices of chocolate cake sat under glass domes. My sister Jennifer's twins were already eating theirs. Emma's hands were empty. I watched my daughter's face crumble. Not loud crying, Emma never cried loud. Just this quiet gulp, like she was swallowing something sharp. My mother didn't even look at her. She was too busy refilling Jennifer's wine, laughing about some country club thing I wasn't invited to. That's when I knew. I'd spent 32 years trying to earn a place at this table, and my daughter would never have one. Not because of anything she did. Because of who her father wasn't. The wine glass I'd been holding hit the floor. Let me back up, because this didn't start with cake. My mother, Patricia Winters, had rules. Unspoken ones, mostly, but rules you learned fast if you wanted peace. Jennifer married a neurosurgeon named Brad, Georgetown degree, family money, the works. They lived 4 streets away from my parents in the same gated community. 2 kids, both boys, both in private school. I married Daniel. High school sweethearts. He's a contractor, builds custom cabinets, does amazing work, makes decent money. We live in Tempe, about 40 minutes away, in a neighborhood with decent public schools and basketball hoops in driveways. We're happy. We're stable. But we're not premium. My mother never said it out loud until that day. But I'd seen it in 1,000 small cuts. The Christmas gifts, Jennifer's boys got savings bonds and iPads, Emma got books. The birthday parties where Emma sat at the kids' table while the twins sat with the adults. The family photos where somehow Emma was always half out of frame. I told myself I was imagining it. That I was being sensitive. Daniel would say, "Your mom's just old-fashioned, Mel. Don't let it get to you." But that cake. That glass dome. Those words. Premium treats for premium grandkids. If you've ever been the other a sibling, the one who didn't measure up, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. You're not alone in this. Emma didn't talk the whole drive home. I kept glancing at her in the rearview mirror. She was looking out the window, tracing shapes on the glass with her finger. Finally, about 10 minutes from our house, she said, "Mama, what's premium mean?" My hands tightened on the wheel. "It means fancy," I said. "Like extra special." Am I not extra special? I pulled over. Right there on Baseline Road, I pulled into a gas station parking lot, turned around, and looked at my daughter. "You are the most special person in the entire world," I said. Grandma was wrong. She was mean and she was wrong. Emma nodded, but I could see she didn't believe me. How could she? 6-year-olds don't understand subtext. They understand cake. They understand who gets it and who doesn't. When we got home, Daniel took one look at my face and knew. I told him everything. He wanted to call my mother right then, wanted to drive back and confront her. But I stopped him. "Not yet," I said. Because here's the thing about being the disappointing daughter, you learn to plan. You learn to wait. You learn that emotional outbursts get dismissed, but facts are harder to ignore. I wasn't going to yell. I was going to build a case. I started small. A notebook. Nothing fancy, just a composition book from Target. I wrote down every interaction with my mother going back as far as I could remember. Every comment. Every gift discrepancy. Every time Jennifer's family got invited to something and we didn't. I included dates where I could remember them. Then I got methodical. I went through my bank statements. Every birthday gift I'd bought for the twins. Every Christmas present. Every time I'd contributed to a family dinner or celebration. I tallied it up. Over the past 6 years, I'd spent over $4,000 trying to keep peace, trying to show I was grateful, trying to earn my way into being treated equally. Jennifer? I checked her Facebook. She posted everything. I found exactly 3 instances where she'd given Emma a gift. Total value, maybe $75. But the real gut punch came when I found the emails. I'd forgotten about them, messages from 2 years ago when my dad had his heart surgery. My mother had sent a family group text asking for help covering the bills. Insurance covered most of it, but there were gaps. Jennifer contributed $500. I sent $2,000, everything Daniel and I had in savings at the time. My mother's response to Jennifer, "You're such a blessing, honey." Her response to me, received. One word. Received. 3 weeks after the cake incident, Jennifer posted on Facebook about the twins' trust fund. "So grateful to Mom and Dad for setting up college funds for the boys," she wrote, with a photo of some legal documents and champagne glasses. Best grandparents ever. I stared at that post for 20 minutes. Emma didn't have a trust fund. I'd asked about it once, years ago, after Jennifer mentioned hers. My mother had said, "We'll see, Melissa. These things take planning." I called the family lawyer. His name was Robert Chen. He'd handled my parents' estate planning for years, and I'd met him at enough family gatherings to have his number. "Robert, it's Melissa Winters-Kowalski. Quick question about family trusts. Hypothetically, if grandparents set up education funds, is that documented anywhere public?" He was quiet for a second. "Then, Melissa, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but your mother established trusts for Jennifer's children 3 years ago. $25,000 each. And Emma?" Silence. "Robert? There's no trust for Emma," he said quietly. "I'm sorry. I assumed you knew." I drove to my mother's house that afternoon. Unannounced. She answered the door in tennis whites, surprised to see me. "Melissa? What are you doing here?" "We need to talk," I said. She let me in, but she didn't offer coffee. We stood in her foyer, all marble and recessed lighting, and I said, "Why doesn't Emma have a college fund?" My mother's expression didn't change. "I don't know what you're talking about." Jennifer posted about the twins' trust. $25,000 each. Emma has nothing. She sighed like I was being tedious. "Melissa, those funds are merit-based. The boys are in advanced programs. They're excelling. When Emma shows the same level of. She's 6. Achievement and promise, we can discuss it. The twins are 7. What achievements did they have at 6 that Emma doesn't?" My mother's eyes went cold. "They had parents who married up, not down. They have opportunities you can't provide. I'm investing in futures that have potential." There it was. No coded language. No plausible deniability. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just said, "Okay." She looked confused. "Okay? Yeah, I understand now. Thanks for clarifying." I left. Stick with me here, because this is where everything changes. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see how this ends. That night, Daniel found me at the kitchen table with my laptop and a bottle of wine. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Math," I said. I'd created a spreadsheet. Every family event for the past 6 years. Every holiday, birthday, dinner, graduation, recital. I documented who attended what, who was invited where, who got photos sent to them. Then I added the financial column. Every dollar I'd spend on my parents, on Jennifer, on the twins. Every contribution to family gifts, every time I'd covered a restaurant bill, because Jennifer just had the boys and money's tight, which was hilarious in retrospect since Brad made 4 times what Daniel did. The total came to just under $11,000. I created a second tab, emotional labor. Every time I'd called my mother just to check in. Every time I'd helped her with technology, errands, or party planning. Every time I'd bitten my tongue when she made comments about our house, our car, our choices. Daniel read over my shoulder. "What's this for?" "Evidence," I said. "I'm done performing for scraps." I drafted a letter. Revised it 7 times. Showed it to Daniel, who said it was too nice. Revised it again. "Dear Mom and Dad. After careful consideration, our family will be taking a step back from regular gatherings and events. This isn't a decision we've made lightly, but it's necessary for Emma's well-being and our family's peace. Over the past 6 years, I've contributed $10,847 to family expenses, gifts, and events, while watching my daughter be consistently treated as lesser than. The premium treats for premium grandkids comment was clarifying, but it wasn't surprising. It was just the first time the quiet part was said out loud. Emma doesn't have a trust fund. She doesn't get equal gifts. She doesn't get equal affection. And I'm done pretending that's normal or acceptable. We won't be attending Thanksgiving or Christmas this year. We won't be available for last-minute babysitting requests or errand help. We're focusing on people who treat all of us with basic respect. If you'd like to rebuild a relationship with your granddaughter that doesn't involve hierarchies and conditional love, you're welcome to reach out. Otherwise, we wish you well. Melissa, Daniel, and Emma. I didn't send it yet. I had one more move to make. Here's what most people don't know: nonprofit donations are public record. My mother sat on the board of 3 charities in Scottsdale. She loved the prestige, the galas, the photos in the community magazine. Every year she'd post about her giving back work. I pulled the 990 forms. Public tax documents. Took me 2 hours of searching, but I found them. Turns out, my mother's contributions to these charities averaged about $200 a year. Total. Meanwhile, the organizations listed board members who donated $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 annually. She was trading on the family name, my dad's money, his reputation, while giving almost nothing. She was attending events and taking credit for fundraising other people did. I made copies. I didn't know if I'd need them, but I had them. I sent the letter on November 1st, email and certified mail. My mother called 17 times that first day. I didn't answer. Jennifer sent a long text about how I was being dramatic and hurting the family. I replied, "Emma is family. Treat her like it." Thanksgiving arrived. We stayed home. Made a small turkey. Watched movies. Emma seemed lighter somehow, like a weight had lifted. My phone blew up. My mother. My dad. Jennifer. Even Brad sent a message saying I was creating unnecessary conflict. I turned my phone off. The next day, my mother showed up at our house. Daniel answered the door. I heard him say, "She doesn't want to see you right now, Patricia." "This is ridiculous," my mother said. "Over a piece of cake? Melissa is being childish." I walked to the door. Looked her in the eye. It was never about the cake, I said. It's about 6 years of watching you rank your grandchildren. It's about the trust funds, the gifts, the 1,000 small ways you've told Emma she's not good enough. I'm not doing it anymore. You're being oversensitive. I treat all my grandchildren fairly. Then show me Emma's trust fund paperwork. She went pale. That's what I thought, I said. We're done here. In mid-December, my mother sent a Christmas card. Inside was a check for $25,000 made out to Emma. The note said, for her college fund. I hope this resolves things. I stared at that check for a long time. Daniel said, that's what you wanted, right? But it wasn't. Because it wasn't an apology. It was a transaction. It was her buying her way out of accountability without admitting she'd done anything wrong. I wrote void across the check and mailed it back with a note. Emma doesn't need your money. She needs a grandmother who loves her without conditions. When you're ready to offer that, we can talk. 3 months went by. Quiet months. Peaceful ones. Then, in March, my dad called. Not my mother. My dad. Melissa, he said, can we talk? We met at a coffee shop in Tempe. Just the two of us. He looked older than I remembered. Your mother and I have been in therapy, he said. I didn't expect that. She's struggling with control issues. With perfectionism. The therapist says it goes back to her own childhood, but that's not an excuse. It's just context. Okay, I said carefully. She was wrong. About Emma. About you. About all of it. His voice cracked. I was wrong too. I saw it happening and I didn't stop it. I told myself it wasn't that bad, that you girls were just different. But it was bad. And I'm sorry. I felt something loosen in my chest. I don't need perfect, Dad. I just need equal. I need Emma to feel loved. I know, he said. We both do now. Your mother wants to apologize to you properly. And to Emma. If you're willing to hear it. We met at a park. Neutral territory. My mother looked smaller somehow. She sat across from me and Emma at a picnic table and said, I owe you both an apology. Emma looked at me. I nodded. I treated you unfairly, Emma, my mother said. I had ideas about what success looked like, and I let those ideas hurt people I love. That was wrong. Your mama is a wonderful person, and you are an extraordinary little girl. I'm sorry I didn't see that clearly before. Emma, brave kid that she is, said, do you see it now? My mother's eyes filled with tears. I do. And I'm going to do better. If you'll let me. Before we finish, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to set boundaries with family? Was it worth it? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And hit that like button if this story resonated with you. It's been a year now. My mother isn't perfect, old habits die hard. But she's trying. Emma has a trust fund. Same amount as the twins. My mother also quietly set up funds for 3 scholarship students at the local high school, and she's actually donating real money to her charities now. We do family dinners once a month. Sometimes they're awkward. Sometimes my mother slips and makes a comment about Jennifer's house or the twins' achievements. But now I can say, hey, that's not okay, and she listens. Emma calls her grandma again. Carefully, but genuinely. Jennifer and I are still working on our relationship. That's harder, honestly. She's defensive about the years of preferential treatment, insists she didn't notice it. Maybe she didn't. Maybe willful blindness runs in the family. But Daniel and I are stronger. Emma is stronger. She knows her worth isn't measured by other people's hierarchies. Here's the thing about being the disappointing daughter: you spend so much energy trying to measure up that you forget to measure what you're actually worth. I gave years of my life trying to earn love that should have been free. I watched my daughter absorb the message that she was less than, and I let it happen because I was afraid of conflict. The wine glass breaking was the best thing that could have happened. Because it shattered my illusions too. You can't logic someone into loving you correctly. You can't perform your way into basic respect. All you can do is set boundaries, walk away when necessary, and teach your kids that their worth isn't up for debate. My mother had to lose us to understand what she was losing. Not everyone gets that wake-up call. Not everyone takes it. I'm grateful she did. But I'm more grateful I found my spine. If this story meant something to you, subscribe for more. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you don't owe anyone access to you or your kids. Premium treats are for everyone, or they're for no one. That's the only rule that matters.